Okay, and welcome back. Today we've got another product from Litheli. If you remember this company, I brought out the other products that I've done the reviews for already. We have the 13-inch lawnmower, remember that? And then we got this super powerful blower that ran on 2 of their batteries. I still have them and I'm keeping them in good shape because these things look good. As I say here on the box, tools for the future. And they look like they're from the future. Of course, we're kind of living in the future right now, but this one is probably going to look quite a bit like that. Even though these are yard tools, they kind of look like something you would find inside the house next to the computer. But this time it is the, well, would you look at that? You have no idea what it is? Because it's not, oh boy, am I going to drop it. Okay, here we go. Barely balanced. It is the Cordless Pole Saw. These things are super handy because you can trim trees without using a ladder. And it will telescope and get up higher, and I don't know the exact length on it, and I'll find out by the next scene. But what we're going to do is unbox it now and see how it comes shipped. Okay, so opening up the outer box, it looks like we're doing the box in a box trick. But it does give us some information here already, 4,500 RPMs. And if you remember, I was trying to find the length of it, and right there it says 3.4 meters. And I did the conversion, and that is just over 11 feet, which is actually longer than I was thinking. Anyway, let's pull that box out and open that box. See if there's another box in there. Okay, so here we go. We're about to open the box, but I'm noticing on the side of the box, let's see if I can get a little closer. Yeah, there we go. It's showing all the other tools that they have, and I didn't know about a lot of these. They got a weed whacker, this is that pole trimmer, and then the hedge trimmer. I don't think everything's to scale with everything else, otherwise that hedge trimmer would be 11 feet long. What is that, and what is that? And then we got a reciprocating saw, and this looks like a handheld chainsaw. There's that blower, camera, maybe drill, impact drivers. What are all these things? I don't know. So that looks like some kind of a power thing, and those are the batteries right there. I'll show them in a second. And then that thing looks like a power bank, power station. So they got a lot of products. So look around the website if you go to the link and see if there's anything else you want. And so now we are opening the box for the first time. Let's see what's in there. Let me back up a little bit. And here we go. Okay. So we have, this must be the center section, probably, and I do believe this one really telescopes rather than just adding an extension, but maybe not. We're gonna find out. Put this down here, and then we have the main unit. Look at that. I mean, they're just so futuristically designed. Look at that. Doesn't look like a tool. It looks more like a computer peripheral, doesn't it? Maybe a hard drive. Anyway, and so we look, nice padded handle there. Let's pull that out and see what else we got. This is clearly the battery. I think you've seen the batteries before in the other products, so this is nice to have another one. I think it runs on 1 battery, so we will find out. This is, well, we have another section. Oh no, this is the front section, the part with the actual saw. If you want to know how to drop the whole thing, that's how. Okay. Their first look at this. I mean, look at that. They're simulating carbon fiber. Of course, it's plastic, but they really go for appearance. Nice. Looks like it oils. It will hold oil, so it likely automatically oils. And then that must be a tensioner. And the blade will go in there, and we'll do all that in a little bit. What's in here? That is, oh, that's a support strap, which if you're not very strong and you don't feel like you can hold on to it, you can strap it to yourself, like around your back or something like that, to help you hold it. And then here, this box is, there's the bar. I think it's about, oh, it says right there, 8 inches. So it's an 8-inch bar, of course, with an 8-inch chain. And then these things, you're not going to find a charger. In this particular case, oh, you know what? It must be in that battery box. So these things are charged by USB, and we'll take this over to the charging station and plug it in now to show you how that works. But otherwise, there it is. An 11-foot pole saw in 3 pieces. Alrighty, moving on. Okay, here we are in the charging area, about to plug it in for the first time. As you can see here, we've got the other 3 batteries from the other products. The blower runs on 2 batteries, and the lawnmower runs on 1. And so the pole saw runs on 1, so we have our 4th battery. And these are the U Battery Plus 20-volt batteries, and they run on USB. And this is how they come. The instruction manual. And then there we go. It's in a bag, and these things do have their little meters on them so that you can see how much charge they have. And I'm curious to see how much charge they shipped with. There we go. So if you look really close, you can see those little lights, and we're going to find out. 3 out of 4 are lit, so we'll plug it in and get that other last light lit up. And we'll do that by finding the other USB. Must be in here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Hidden under the cardboard, in case you can't find it in yours. So we will plug this in. There's an example of how it's plugged in. USB on the one side, plug into the other. These, by the way, these are really, really neat batteries because these can also be used as power banks. As you can see, they themselves have USBs on them. So you can use these batteries to charge other things. There was one time that I actually did plug my phone into it. And your regular, I have a Samsung phone, regular Samsung USB to one of these, the USB Mini, I think. Plugs right into your phone, and you can charge your phone from this. And it's a big battery, so you can charge it probably about 10 times from this. So in a situation where you've lost power, you can use these batteries as power banks, just in case you didn't know. Anyway, so let's move back to let's let this charge and move back to the other unit. Okay, so we are now ready to do the basic assembly, and when I say basic, I mean basic. I don't think I really have to explain this much. Basically, you've got, if you look in there, you will see that there is a plug right there, and then there is an inlet in there. You plug one into the other, and you're done. And then you pull the sleeve over. Well, maybe I should film that. Let's do that. Okay, here we go. Now, so the sleeve that I was just fumbling for actually turns out to be way over there, so I'm going to go get it. There we go. And so, if you look here, you can see that there is a little arrow on that white part, and then there's an arrow on the black part. And so you line those up and stick that in there. I think it worked. And then screw it closed. and then do the same thing for that one. Okay, and there we go. We got the 3 sections all screwed into each other and assembled. And so I was wrong. It doesn't actually telescope. There is a center section that we were just installing. If you want to make it shorter, you take that section out and plug that section straight into that section, and that'll make a shorter pole saw. But if you're like me and you're mainly using this for branches that are up there, you're going to leave it fully assembled. You can always take it out. And so it is actually at 11 feet, as you can see. Got the tape measure out there, and the 11-foot mark is right about there, which is going to mark when the bar and chain are installed. Speaking of which, we should do that right about now. Okay, so here's the point where we tried to install the bar and chain. And I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. I haven't looked it up, but most of these are the same. Let's see if I can get to this. This is probably going to take the whole thing off, and then this one is probably the one that tightens it down, because you'll have to adjust the chain constantly to keep it at the right level of tightness. There we go. Okay, so now the whole thing's open. Alrighty, so we are going to put the bar on. This is clearly the top, because if you pour the oil in, it's got to go down. So you want to make sure that the words are readable from this side. You see this slit here. It's going to line up with this raised part here. This goes through there, and it holds steady. Push it kind of against there, and it's not going to stay on. It's going to try to fall. So we need to try to get the chain onto the bar before we even do that. Okay, this is going to work out much better with the chain already on the bar, and you're going to want to make sure that the blade from the top is facing this direction. It's going away from you on the top and towards you on the bottom. So you are now going to line it up the same way I just did, but this time it's probably going to stay. Put the chain around the sprocket, and the slot is over the raised part, and then there you go. And it holds on. So this is an indication. When you have this adjuster on there, here's a look at what's happening. When you're moving it forward and back, this is what it'll be doing, and then you'll tighten it down according to the amount of tension that you want. So at this point, we can put the front of it on. There we go. And it's a machine thread, so it's a lot of turns. Okay, so it's basically in place there. You can see you can move it back and forth before you tighten it down. Then this moves independently. Get it in place, get the cover down, give yourself a little bit of play. See, I didn't give myself any play. A little bit of play. Tighten it down, and then lock it. And you are set. Now we just got to put a battery in it. That's a little tight. A little too tight. You want a little bit of play there. Just a little bit. There you go. That's more like it. Okay, so now we want to put a battery in it and see if it works. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, that's good news. So now all we need is a tree. So let's go find a tree. Okay, so we're here on location now, and I've got the battery put in there, and we're ready to go there. Now it says that you get about 50 cuts per battery charge. So, and I'm going to be doing a lot of trimming today, so what I did is I brought some spare batteries. These are not very expensive. They're going from about $30 to $40 these days from what I can see on Amazon. So make sure you pick up some extra batteries for this one if you have lots of trimming to do. And then over here on this end, I want to mention, I think I did mention already, you have to put bar and chain oil in there in the reservoir, otherwise it will burn up. So make sure that there's a indicator there, whoops, on the side to show how full it is. Otherwise you can just see in there as you're filling it up. Make sure you put lubrication in there. So today what we're doing is we are trimming this palm tree right here. It is not very tall. It's to the point where with a pole saw this long, it should not have to use a ladder at all. In fact, it might actually be a little too long right now. Might have to take that extension out of there, but we'll see. So let's get started. Okay, and it's as fast as that. Look how fast the branches accumulate there. You got a big mess to clean up. But as you probably were able to see, trying to get into a canopy like that, where it's all twisted, is a challenge. And it was no problem with this. It's not that heavy, but I was able to, you know, stick it in funny areas and twist it to get to the frond or the spray that I needed to trim off. And camera 2 was showing that I wasn't using a ladder at all, and it was the perfect height for it. So that worked out really well. I'll just pick up this mess, and then we will move on to the next one, which is going to be some oak trees. Okay, so here we are, and I can tell already this tree is a little bit lower than I was thinking. I've been trimming on that one over there, which is up quite a bit higher. And so I do think this is going to be one of those situations where we take out the center section. So I will film myself doing that and making this a shorter pole saw. And then we will go and trim some of the stuff over there, the lower ones, the thicker ones that have been there for a while. It's hard to see them, but we'll do that after I adjust the saw. Okay, so there's a good one right there. Zoom in on that. That is about a 4-inch oak branch. And that's going to be the big test for today. I just checked the battery and it's showing 3 bars. So there should be enough power left in it to do it. So let's do that. Okay, I just want to show how thick that was. Look at this. Right at about 4 inches. And wet. So that was pretty good. Alright, let's get the rest of them. Okay, so here's where we're at. We just made a whole bunch of cuts. I wasn't counting the cuts. Supposed to be able to get about 50 cuts on a battery. Of course, some of the cuts were bigger than others. And we just trimmed all of these branches. It slowed down on one of them. It binded up on one. But we trimmed all these branches plus all those branches over there. That's where we started over there. And after doing all that, it was all in one battery. If you remember, there's a meter on it. You're going to press the button now and see what we got. And it says we got 3 bars left. I don't know if we really do, but it says we do. And it wasn't slowing down at all, so maybe so. Anyway, let me clean all this up and then I'll take it back to the house and we'll wrap this up. Okay, and that wraps it up for the review on this new pole saw. Here it is in the closed position. And even in the closed position, it had a pretty good reach. I know what I was going to do. Hold on a second. Here we go. I wanted to measure it when it's closed. Remember, it was like over 11 feet when it's got the extension in there. But when it's closed up, its closed measurement is just a little bit more than 7 feet. About 7.5 feet. So that's still a really good reach. I was able to do everything I wanted with the oak trees there at the 7.5 foot level. But if you have to get way up into a tree, you can do that as well. Anyway, I got to say, I'm pretty amazed it did all that trimming on one battery. And now the last time I checked, it was still showing 3 bars. Let's see what we got now. And that's the other way, yeah. And we are still showing 3 bars. Now, there's an awful lot of trimming. It says you're supposed to get about, what I'm trying to do is get the battery out. There's a button here. There we go. See if we get a different reading with it outside of the unit. Nope. 3 bars. So, theoretically, we did all that trimming on 1 bar. And we still have 3 bars to go, but I don't know for sure. But I didn't count all the cuts, but that had to have been at least, I don't know, 30, 40, maybe 50 cuts. You guys can go back through the video, some of you will, and you'll tell me how many cuts that was. Anyway, we're going to be putting this in the garage, in the Litheli section of the garage, where we have the Litheli arsenal. And what I'll do now is I'll put the links to the I think there's an Amazon link and a website link. Maybe it's just the website link to the Litheli website. That's how you pronounce it, by the way, Litheli. They actually sent me the pronunciation. So that wraps it up. Appreciate y'all watching. I highly recommend it. It's very, very, very good. If you remember that I did a lot of trimming with the Husqvarna gas-powered pole saw, for reference, that one is 10 feet long. So this one is actually longer than that one. And very, very handy because there's no gas fumes and it's not running while you're using it and maneuvering around. It only runs when you press the button. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and y'all have a good day.